So LWC classes are get shared like this, guys. LWC hyphen, this is the class 2. Okay, this was the class we had on day before yesterday. Okay, and I had shared LWC class 1 also.
Next to class 2 only.
Class 1 not shared, Suparna. LWC.
Class 1 is not shared. Let me check that thing. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. It was uploaded, but it was not shared. Okay. So now you have both class 1 and class 2 with you all, right? Okay, cool. Okay, guys, let's start. So as part of the class 1, guys, regarding the LWC, you will be find out how to install the Visual Studio Code. That is the main concept of the class 1. And regarding the class 2, we just discussed what is the difference between the ARA and LWC, because both are developed in the Lightning framework only. Why we have to go with the LWC? Why not with the ARA? So there are one image I had kept in the class notes, so that would help you to understand why we need to go with the LWC. Okay, sometimes they will ask you interview question why we have to go with the LWC when we already have the ARA. Okay, so to explain that, you can just simply say it's a framework directly LWC built on the web stack framework. That means whatever the code, what is the thing you can understand is web stack means whatever the code you are writing in the LWC, that is browser supportable code you are writing. That means whatever the code you are writing, browser directly can understand that code. Whereas in the ARA components, whatever the code generally they write, okay, they have to convert into the browser understandable. Browser directly can't directly understand those tags. Okay, that is one of the first advantage. And LWC can be called from anywhere. You can call LWC from the flows or from the ARA components, like that. It is compatibility. Whereas ARA components, you cannot call from the LWC. That facility is not there for ARA components. You cannot call from LWC. But if you have the LWC component, you can call it from ARA components. That's the reason. LWC you can call from anywhere. That's the reason LWC is compatible with ARA, as well as LWC you can call it from the Visual Force pages also. Okay. So it is compatible. You can call from flows, or you can call from Visual Force pages, or you can call from ARA components. Anywhere this is supporting. That's the reason it is more compatible. And coming to the performance, LWC improves the performance. It's much faster. Whenever you write some code using ARA and you write some code using LWC, both ARA and LWC, both frameworks are for front-end pages, guys. Okay, using these two ARA framework or LWC framework, what we will do is we will design the front-end view pages. Okay, initially when we were using Classic, we use Visual Force page, but right now nobody is using Visual Force pages, right? Because nobody is using Classic. We have stopped long back itself. Okay, so nowadays you will be seeing the projects in either ARA or LWC. Okay, there are a minor projects on the Visual Force page, but if you are comfortable with the ARA and LWC, you can understand Visual Force pages also, because all are front-end technologies only. Okay, so coming to the performance point of view, the LWC gives the more performance compared to the ARA. And the next one is the platform dependency. Platform dependency is something like that. ARA you have to implement inside the Salesforce platform, but LWC you can implement for other tools also, like Visual Force Studio Code. And Salesforce is not required. Okay. And then developer resources. Coming to the developer resources, platform dependent. Sorry, guys, don't get confused with this platform dependency and developer resources. Developer resources are something like that. So if you wanted to develop the ARA components, we have to use the Salesforce, and LWC components we can develop from the tools, IDE tools like VS Code. That is the third-party tool. We can do it. Okay, that means people who don't have Salesforce access, still they can develop components for you. Okay, that is the advantage of LWC. And another thing is platform dependency. Platform dependency is something like that. ARA or Salesforce platform dependent. LWC are natively supported in the browser, and much knowledge of Salesforce is not required. That means people who don't know the Salesforce knowledge, they can't implement the ARA components. But whereas LWC components, they don't require much knowledge on Salesforce. Okay, if they know only a few how to call a method from Salesforce, that's enough. Rest of the LWC things are, it's common in all the native web stack. If any person who is the web front-end developer, they can easily write a code for LWC components, guys. Okay, even though he doesn't have any knowledge on the Salesforce, he can write. But ARA components are not like that. If you want to design the ARA components, you should have the Salesforce platform knowledge. Otherwise, you can't design the ARA components. Okay, mainly these are the 5 things. Okay, when the interviewer asks, we can explain about these 5 things. Okay, and then data binding and communication, like modern JavaScript development. That means LWC is supporting modern JavaScript structures. Okay, ES7, ES8, ECMAScript. ES means ECMAScript. Okay, these are the JavaScript. Whenever they have some changes in the JavaScript, they will just keep on new releases, and LWC is supporting all those new releases. Whereas ARA is not supporting old versions. ARA is old version. They have not been upgrading it, because after a few days, guys, you won't see this ARA. You will see completely LWC. Okay. After few years, not few days, after few years, you won't see any projects which do with ARA. Right now itself, we are not doing any projects on ARA, guys. Okay. If any new project we are going to implement, we are using the LWC only. There were some projects before LWC, they were using ARA. The same projects, they were continuing in the ARA only. But apart from that, all the new projects is using LWC. That's the reason, if you know the LWC, and they know you can work on ARA components also, because it's similar. So having a good knowledge in one framework is good. Okay, we will go with the latest framework, LWC. Okay, Lightning Web Components. What we have done is we have created one web component, a simple web component, hello world web component. So the first thing of LWC is, what are the different files that will get created when we create the LWC component? What is the use of each file? Okay, so the files which gets created is test folder, which contains hello world test.js and hello world HTML, hello world JS, hello world JS meta.xml. These are the 4 folders which got created. Okay, so all the front-end codes are written in the HTML. Okay, all the front-end, not front-end, like HTML codes written in HTML file. Okay. I can simply say this is the view page. LWC components follows MVC architecture, guys. Okay, what is the architecture of the LWC? They will ask. Okay, LWC components follows MVC architecture. Okay, model view controller. MVC is nothing but model view controller. Okay, so in this HTML component works in the view page. Okay, front end page, the pages, whatever you see in the component would be the view page. And JS is something like that, which behaves like a model. Okay. And from this model, using this model, we can connect to the controller, that is Apex class. Controller is nothing but your Apex. Okay. Then what about hello world XML file? Okay. Meta.xml file, which is used to decide where you can use this component. Okay. Which is used to decide where you can use this component. Okay. I'm going to give you a link, guys. That is LWC recipes. Okay. These are the few like simple examples of LWC components, guys. So the first example is hello world. Okay. So how to learn the LWC is you need to know about the concepts and coming to the components, right? What components you need to do is you have to implement different components. Then you will learn, okay, this tag, if I want input box, I need to use this tag. If I want output box, I wanted to use this tag. If I want to click on buttons, I wanted to use this one. So this gives you that examples. Okay, if you want to display a simple message, okay, how can you, I mean, simple message or expressions, small things. These are different examples. Okay, so as part of your practice for LWC, you need to practice all these examples, guys. Okay, day by day. As soon as I complete the topic, right, then you have to practice these examples. So don't get confused, guys. There is a view source link. You can simply click on that link. Okay, it will take you to the github.com. Okay, in our real-time projects also, we use the GitHub, guys. Okay, we use the GitHub. This is how even we create, like for our projects, normally branch. Okay, this is the main branch they have, right? Generally in our project, we will just create project specific branches, and inside that branches, we will create a repository. Okay, repository name it. Here they just named it as a LWC recipes OSS. Inside this, they have all their things. We also create our own. So inside the SRC folder, oh, not SRC. Let me go back. SRC modules recipe, hello. Okay. Inside this repository, guys, generally, I mean, this is how a GitHub, this is how a Visual Studio, right? So in your real-time projects, okay, what is the thing we will do is, I told you the deployments. This is what is the deployment tool that you use to deploy your components from one arg to another arg, right? That is GitHub, guys. That is GitHub. So whatever the components you have in your Arc, you can store inside the GitHub. How you can store inside the GitHub is, inside the GitHub, we can create different repositories. Okay. And then inside that we can create different branches. They will create different branches, guys. One is for development, testing, production release, or UAT testing. Like we are moving the code from one branch to another branch. Okay, that everything can handle in the GitHub process deployment. This is the tool that you are going to use it for your deployments. For the nowadays everybody is using. So once you entered into the projects, this is the another tool that you will see. GitHub is the tool you will see. Okay, so we'll just create some components. Okay. Later on, after we complete the LWC, right, I'll tell you how to deploy from one to another using this GitHub tool. For right now, you can just go to the SRC folders and modules. Okay, then recipes. So this is the where you will be seeing the so many LWC components. Okay, so all these are different LWC components. They just created for you guys. Okay, so the first LWC component that we are giving you is the hello. Inside the hello world, okay, if you wanted to see hello.html, okay, inside the hello world, you have to write like this, guys. Okay, whenever you wanted to see hello and greeting. Okay, this is the, for all these examples, they have given this recipe view source, guys. Okay, you can just simply ignore that thing. Why? Because recipe view source link they have given in their code, because when you click on this view source, because see in the UI you are seeing a component like this. Okay, but the backend code to see this complete 4 lines, this HTML is the backend code. Here, whatever they have written, UI card title hello. So that is what it is displaying, this hello title. Okay. And then the next line is hello greeting. Here is greeting is the variable, guys, which is coming from the JavaScript file. Okay. If you wanted to read any values from the JavaScript file inside the HTML file, then you have to enclose them in the parameters, sorry, parentheses. Okay. Greeting is the variable which is present in the JavaScript file. Let me just open up the JavaScript file in another browser. So in hello components, hello.js. So whenever you create the component, LWC component, the same structure gets created for you, template tag. And if you go to the JS file, see, you will see, you will have one import statement and one export statement, guys. Without import statements and export statement, you can't use LWC components. You can't create the LWC component. So import statement is something like that. You are importing the Lightning interface. Okay. And export component is nothing but you are creating a component by extending this Lightning interface so that you can use this component if you want. Without these export tag, you cannot use this component anywhere. Okay. So import and export, these two are the basic things. Inside this, if you wanted to declare some variable, okay, I have the greeting. Greeting is the variable. Generally, I would like to pass some values. Okay, whatever the value I was just giving here. So this is the JavaScript code, right? If you want to write some variable, you can just simply give the variable name and you can just give a value like welcome. Welcome to Salesforce class. You would like to say welcome is already there. And you would like to mention welcome to Salesforce. Okay. So whatever the value you have given. So I just have some value in the JavaScript. I wanted to use this value in the HTML code. Okay. How can I use? So if you want to display anything in the HTML, okay, we will be writing the some tags, right? So I wanted to display the value. So I can have some div tag or paragraph tag. Okay. Div, p tag, div tag. These are the normal tags of HTML, guys. Okay. Here I can simply mention welcome. And I wanted to, if I wanted to hard code a value, then I can directly hard code like welcome to Salesforce. Okay. If I do like this, that's fine. But I don't want to hard code this value. This value should come from my JavaScript file. In that case, what I'll do is I will create a variable in the JavaScript and then I'll access that variable inside this HTML. To access JavaScript variables inside the HTML in LWC, you have to give brackets and that variable name. Okay. The variable name is greetings. Fine. This is the simple line. This will give you a message of welcome, greetings. Okay. So whatever the JavaScript they have written, we have written the same JavaScript. Coming to the HTML file, okay, we just used this one. Here they just said hello, hello and greeting. Then I just said welcome. Okay. And apart from that, from this code, you no need to copy this thing, guys. First of all, don't copy the complete code. Okay. Just copy one by one line. Okay. These recipes will give you different examples. But for each example, just copy line by line and try to see how it's changing. And in all the examples, don't copy this recipes view source code. Not required because this piece they have given. When you click on this view source link, it should take you to the GitHub source. That's the reason they have given this, they have written this piece of logic. But in our case, we don't require that thing. In our case, we wanted to learn how to display a message, okay, using LWC component. Okay. And hello. Now this hello word is coming and bind an HTML into the component property. Fine. Okay. That is what which is written here, but we don't require all those things. We just need a message and then we need a title. Okay. So you can simply use the UI card. Okay. These guys are using UI card. Okay. Let me just tell you, write the UI card here. Okay. First, let me just save this component and show you how this works. After that, we will add UI card. So what we did is we just simply written a simple message. Okay. And if you wanted to access some value from the JavaScript code in for this message, how can you do that? That is what we learned it. Okay. So let me deploy it. If you wanted to deploy, right click on the component, deploy source to Arc. Okay. Now we have deployed, guys. It don't have any errors. If it has any errors, then it will display here. Errors. Right now we don't have any errors. Let me log into the Arc. Guys, LWC classes is going to happen for max 12 classes, but it is not going to have too much of classes. It is going to have your 12 classes, but be careful with those 12 classes. If you are comfortable with those 12 classes, you can answer 60 to 70% of your interview questions, guys. All the whatever the concepts which I am covering in these 12 classes, right? Each class is an interview question. Okay. The first class is, if you want to create a LWC component, can I create it from developer console? Then the answer is no. We have to install Visual Studio Code, and from the Visual Studio Code only, we have to create. So I have experience in Visual Studio Code. That is what we are going to highlight there. Okay. And the second interview question, what is the difference between the ARA and LWC? Already we have ARA, right? Why they came up with the LWC? Then we need to highlight those advantages. Okay, differences. That is your second class. And the third interview question is, what are the different files, or what are the files which are available in the LWC bundle? This is your third question. And what is the use of each file? Okay, HTML file to write the front-end view, and JavaScript file which behaves like a model. If you want to pass some value to the front end, that is the time we will use the JavaScript files. Okay, to communicate between the controller, that means your backend database and HTML. So HTML pages directly can't talk with the databases, guys. If you want to talk a database, okay, that is the time we will use JavaScript. Okay, so model, using model, we can connect to the controller. Instead of saying using the model, we can connect HTML using the model. We can establish communication between HTML and database. Okay, we can just feel like that. Directly HTML pages, we cannot perform like some database operations, right? Insert or update or something like this. Okay, that is not possible directly without JavaScript. That is not possible. With JavaScript, yes, there are some rules that you can follow it, so that it will connect, it will talk to the database and send the information back to view pages, HTML pages. Okay, so basically JavaScript sends values to HTML pages to sends information to dynamically display values. Means we are not hard coding it. The values are coming from something else. Whenever you have such requirements, you have to use the JavaScript. Okay, so we are just using the variables, and those variables values will come from the JavaScript. It's not the hard coded way. It's the dynamically we are displaying the values. Okay, whenever we have to dynamically do the actions or dynamically display the values, we use JavaScript file. If it's just simply hard coding text, then we no need of JavaScript, guys. You can directly hard code the text in the HTML view pages. But whenever you don't want to hard code, you want to get some value from somewhere, that is the time you have to use the JavaScript. And the last one is the meta file. Meta file is the one which decides where you can use this component. That is what I told you, right? Now we will see the example. We have seen the HTML and JavaScript, right? We have deployed it. Now I have deployed my component, guys. Whenever I have deployed my component, I can see under the, from the setup, there is a lightning components. From where you can see your components. Okay, you can see your components under the setup, and there is an option of lightning components. Okay. So I can see I have one LWC component and some different test ARA components that I can see. Okay. Now, generally, whenever we have the object, right? Okay. We can create a tab to access that object. The same thing we can create it, guys, for the lightning components also. We can create a tabs, or we can add them into the record pages. Okay. That is the on click of button. Generally, we are calling flows, right? The same way we can call the lightning component also. Okay, there are different ways that we can use in the lightning component. All the customizations we can use. Let's try with creating a tab with these lightning components. Okay, because you are very comfortable with the tags, right? So let's go ahead. So if I go to the tabs, I know one is the custom object tabs. So we can create custom objects and we can create a tab and we can access that. Okay, that is the custom object tabs. And then visual force tabs are nothing but the visual force pages, guys. Whenever you create the visual force pages, you can create the tab, and on click of that tab, that page will get access. Right now, we don't have any visual force pages. Okay, so what? Lightning component tabs. That means whenever you have some lightning component, you wanted to access that through a tab. Then we can create this lightning component tabs. Now I have the lightning components, right? So let me try to create a tab. Okay, let me select the component. If you see it, guys, test component and test component 1. These two are the ARA components. And I should have another lightning component also, right? LWC, that is also lightning component only. When I went to the lightning component, I can see that component. But whereas I can come to my tabs, I'm not able to see it. Okay. So what is the reason? Why I'm not able to see the component of hello world? Okay, when I'm trying to create a tab, okay, but I'm not able to see my component. So where the problem happened? The problem happened on your meta file. Okay, meta file is the one which decides where you can see and where you can use your components. Okay, so inside your meta files, you have to declare targets. Okay, so there is a targets tag, guys. Okay, inside this, you have to have this targets tag. So this is again your interview questions, guys. Okay, I have created a component, but I'm not able to see my component. Okay, what is the problem? Then we need to tell them, we need to check the targets tags which is present in our hello world component, because targets are the ones. Okay, so why it's not automatically identifying? Generally, guys, if you try to enter the target now, that time automatically it gives you heads up saying that. And when you enter target, automatically it will just fill up the end tag also, it will give you for you. Okay. Inside this target, we have to write the targets. I'm just closing it. Okay. Inside this target, there can be different values like lightning tab. Okay. lightning underscore tab and lightning underscore record pages. Okay. And you can make one more thing also. Whenever you make each exposed equals to true. Okay. Without mentioning the targets, guys, each exposed equals to true. Let me just change it as each exposed equals to true. Okay. And let me just deploy this component. Okay. Now if let me just refresh the tab space. If I go to the lightning component, okay, still I'm not able to see my component. Okay, this is also one twist they will ask you guys. I'll just make my component as exposed, but I'll not mention any targets. Okay, even though your component is exposed, you have to mention the targets to use your components. Okay, so target, it's targets, and we should write the ending tag targets, and inside the targets I'm going to make it as a target. Okay, and ending tag is target, and inside this I'm giving lightning tab. Okay, and control S. Now let me deploy this component. Deploy source to R. So deployment is failed. So the deployment is failed, guys. We can see the problems here. Lightning tab is not a valid target. Okay. It is saying lightning tab is not a valid target. That means I'm missing some syntax. So how can I know? Where can I find out? I should have some documentation, right, to verify the like what all the targets I can give. That documentation you can find out like LWC documentation. Okay. Let's go with the LWC developer guide, guys. How we have the Apex developer guide, right? The same way we have the LWC developer guide. Okay. So these are all like before this LWC developer guide, there is one more thing, lightning component library. Okay. This is the way, whatever the topics which I'm talking about, right, that you will see in the lightning component library, guys. So here you can just search with the target. Okay. Configure a component for the email builder. Okay. So inside this, if you see it, guys, this is what I'm just mentioning it. Okay. Each exposed equals to true. Even though if you mention the each exposed equals to true, you have to write the targets. So if you see the targets, generally these are the, like this component can be used inside the emails or inside the app pages. Okay, app page is nothing but your detail pages, guys. Okay, so the syntax they were following is 2 underscores, but what I have given is the single underscore. Okay, that was causing me the issue. Now I wanted to use it in the tab. Okay, let me deploy the source to Arc. Okay, still it got failed. Lightning tab is not the valid target. LIGHTNING underscore underscore tab. These are my components. So this is the developer.salesforce.com component library. You can, I'm just keeping this in our class notes, guys, because this is the place you will get all your questions will get answered. Like right now, I have given lightning underscore tab, but I am seeing that, okay, that is not working for me. Then obviously, if I have any UI level issues like HTML, I have written some tag, okay, but that tag is not working, okay, then I can go to this code. So whatever the tags which we will write it here, guys, input, for example, input, okay. In Lightning Web Components, if you wanted to write one input, then what is the code you have to write? Okay, it will give you. This is how you can write if you want to display one input box. Okay, if you want to display some heading, this is how you need to write a HTML. Okay, like that for each and every tag, they will give you one example, guys. Okay, that is nothing but the component reference. Component reference is nothing but inside this, they will give you different components like input box. No, I wanted to have a button. Okay, then how to write a code for buttons? I can simply click on the buttons. Okay, then you will see different types of buttons, guys. If you want to button this way or this way or this way or this way, this way, then below they have given you the code. Okay, you have to write a button code like this in case of base button. You have to write a button code like this in case of this one. So like this component reference will give you what code you need to write depending on your UI. Okay, they will just give you the UI design, right? They will say that I have an input box, I have an output box. Okay, I need 2 buttons. In backend, you need to write code for everything to come UI like that, right? So if you want to write a code, what code you need to write, that you will get under component reference. Now my question is not with the UI. My question is the targets, right? So all the development related, not the UI related, development related questions will be answered under the developer guides. Okay, so the now introducing about the Lightning Web Components. Inside this, they will tell you what is the like Lightning components and how they started, how they support the JavaScript. Like we talked about the all the web stack technologies, right? They will discuss about the like that. Okay, but the next thing is creating Lightning Web Components. This is what we are dealing right now. Okay, creating the Lightning Web Component. Okay, inside this, the first thing is define a component. Inside this, what is the component folder? What is HTML file? What is JavaScript file? What is configuration file? Okay, configuration file is nothing but our meta file, guys. Okay, so this is the way component configuration file. This is nothing but our meta.xml file. Okay. This is what I'm explaining you today, guys. What is the component folder? This is nothing but when we create the component, we will be having a component folders, right? So we can create these CSS files and SVG files, but these are not the mandatory files, guys. When at the time of creating the component, CSS and SVG files will not create automatically. But if you have the requirements in future, you can create under the same component that they explained it here. But right now, we will learn about the three files which we got as part of the one HTML file. Okay, HTML file is for the front end parts. That is what they explain it here. If you wanted to see any UI and if you wanted to call any other items, everything that can be accessed. So for the view part, the front end pages will be there. And the JavaScript file, they will just tell you JavaScript file looks like this. Okay, like if you wanted to use your like service component, I can say this is easy words. What I mean, don't read here, guys. You will get a lot of confusion. Whatever the class notes I have given in the easy words, like you guys can understand it. Okay, in interviews, you can explain those things. That is enough. Nobody expect answers from this documentation. People expect what is our understanding when we were doing. So JavaScript file is a bridge between your HTML as well as your controller. Whenever you want to display values dynamically in the HTML, that is the time we will write something in the JavaScript file. And the next thing is configuration file. Configuration file is nothing but our meta.xml, which decides where are the places we should use our component. Okay. So here, XML configuration file elements. I'm just clicking on that thing. So the first one is the API version that we are not going. It will just display what is the current API version. It will display that thing. And the next thing is the capabilities. This is nothing but the is exposed equals to false. The component is not exposed to Lightning App Builder or Experience Builder. To allow the components to be used in the Lightning App Builder or Experience Builder, set each exposed equals to true. Experience Builder is nothing but the sites, guys. In Salesforce, we have a concept of sites. That means how we have different websites, right? We can build the Salesforce sites also using the Salesforce. That we call it as a communities cloud. That is again a big concept. If you want to use LWC components inside the community builder, okay, then that is the time we have to mention is exposed equals to true. Otherwise, this component will not be available anywhere. The other one is the Lightning App Builder. So Lightning App Builder is nothing but, let me open up our application. Dreamhouse application. Okay. These are all your Lightning, right? If you go to the setup and if you click on not edit object, if you go to the any record, okay, if you click on edit page, okay, from the edit pages, you will see the Lightning App Builder. This is nothing but the Lightning App Builder. Using the Lightning App Builder, we can build our pages. We can configure our pages. Okay. What all things in the display page. Okay. I wanted to move activities first and then related list. Yes, that is possible. Every configurations are possible. Lightning pages configurations. Okay. What all components you wanted to see, and you can just adjust those components. This is one component. Okay, this is the highlights panel component. These are all existing Salesforce components, guys, like standard components. They just drag and drop. Okay, And this is nothing but the related tabs component. And then this is again one more component. Okay, this is the activities is the default. These are the different tabs. Like this, we can configure the pages using the Lightning App Builder. And all these are nothing but the different standard like highlights panel, list views, related lists. These are nothing but the different components that were designed by the Salesforce by default. And if you wanted to see your custom components like LWC components, ARA components from this Lightning App Builder page, then that each exposed should be true. Okay. Otherwise, if you make each exposed equals to false, then those components will not be available. Okay. Even though each exposure should be true and define at least one target, which is the type of Lightning page. Okay. To allow the components in the, even though, as I told you, right, if you simply make each exposure to true, then it will not be available for the Lightning App Builder. You have to mention the targets also. Okay. So if you could scroll down a little bit down, whenever they are asking about for the targets, so what all the different values that I can give? Generally, guys, all the values you will get here itself. Whenever you just simply give the target tag, automatically, yeah, right now I am getting it. If you see, so I just given you the target, right? So okay. So generally you will get some help, like heads up kind of thing. Here you will see all the targets which are available, which they have defined it here, guys. But my Visual Studio Code is not pulling up those things, but that's fine. You can get the available targets from the developer console. Okay, these are all different available targets. If you wanted to use this component under the communities like experience builder communities, then you have to keep this target Lightning community default. Or else if you wanted to use it in the pages, okay, there are some community pages, so you can use it. So mine is Lightning tabs. Okay, so don't bother about those things. Mainly we will use for our Sales Cloud and Service Cloud, we will use these things, guys. Lightning app page. Okay. So whenever you give the target value is like this Lightning app page, then this will be available under your Lightning app builder. That means here, Lightning app builder, when you go to your record pages and when you try to edit the record, then it will take you to the Lightning app builder page. Inside this page, you will see that component so that you can drag that component to any of your record pages. Okay, it will be available for your record pages. Okay, you can just drag and drop that into your record pages. If you wanted to do that, then you have to mention app page. And another target is Lightning flow screen. You have seen flow, right? And flow screens. So inside the screen component, right now we are displaying some input fields, output fields, like that we have seen in the flows, right? If you want to display the screen which is designed inside the LWC component, then you have to give this target, Lightning flow screens. And then Lightning home pages. Okay, we in Salesforce we have a concept of home page. I'm just leaving this thing. So this is nothing but the record pages, right? There is a tab of home. Okay. Here I don't include it, but if you go to the any other applications, for example, service applications or sales applications,
The first tab, you will see the home page, guys. Okay, this is the default tab. And if you want to display your component here, okay, then that is the time you have to give the target as Lightning home page. Okay, and Lightning record actions. Mainly in our Sales Cloud and Service Cloud, we use these targets. Okay, let me copy down these targets. Few sample targets are, which is used to decide where you can use this component. We have to mention the components. We have to mention targets inside our component. Okay, if you don't mention the target, then you cannot use this component in any way, guys. So these are the few targets that we use for the Sales and Service Clouds: Lightning app, flow screen, home page, and Lightning action target. Okay, Lightning action target will help you. You can access the Lightning component from your button. Like on click of the button, we were calling the flow, right? The same way, on click of the button, if you want to call the Lightning component, then that component target should be Lightning record action. Okay, you can mention more than one target, guys. Same component you can use in app page, flow screen, Lightning record action. If you give 3 targets, then it can be used from 3 places. Okay, we are just going to tell the component from what and all places I can use this. Okay, that is what is nothing but the configurations. Still, we didn't get our target. Okay, our target is Lightning tab. Okay, Lightning actions, Lightning record pages. Okay, enables the components to use the record page in the Lightning app builder. Lightning tabs, that is one more. And Lightning utility bar. Okay, so let me move a little bit up. As you know, right, when we were creating about the applications, we discussed about the utility bar. Utility bar is nothing but we will be having some quick links in the down. Okay, so right now this service application doesn't have any utility bar. So if I go to the dream house applications, let me check, did I kept any utility bar or no? Okay, even I don't have any utility bar. Utility bar is nothing but in the down you will be getting a bar with quick actions. Okay, so you can access the items very quickly. That is nothing but the utility bar. If you wanted to keep LWC component from the utility bars, then that is the time you have to give the Lightning utility bar. Our record pages, Lightning record pages are from the tab, Lightning tab. Or we have reports and dashboards concept, right? So if you wanted to retrieve the LWC component from the dashboards, anyway from the reports, you cannot use the LWC. So this is again target. Okay, targets. Okay, not direct reports and dashboards. You can use the LWC components, guys. We have separate Einstein Analytics Cloud, that is the separate cloud. So for the Sales Cloud and Service Cloud, guys, these are the 7 targets. You can remember it. Okay, just leave about the other targets. So whenever they ask about what are the different targets, they will ask you these targets only, because in Sales and Service Clouds, we use only these targets: Lightning app pages, flow screens, home pages. So the questions they will ask you, like, can I use the Lightning component inside the flow? Then yes. Okay, then can I use in all types of flow? No, only we can enable it for the screen flows. Okay, so Lightning component we can use in Lightning screen flows. Okay, that is the one thing. The other thing they will ask you, Okay, can I keep the lightning component in my record pages? Yes, you can keep the lightning component in your record pages. The other thing we have seen is lightning tab is there. It's 2 tabs. I have given the same thing, but it did not identify that thing. Let me just give it as a capital T and control yes. Deploy this to, I think I have selected some other option. I just saved this file, right? Let me deploy this source to Arc. Again, I got a problem saying that, okay, target tag is not ended properly. It got ended 2 times. Let me save it. So deploy this to source. Now it got successfully deployed to source. Let me just verify. Now am I able to create a tab? Will it display or not? Okay. I'm just going through tabs. Okay. I'm trying to create a new lightning component tab. Yeah, now I can see my hello world because I have given the targets. If you don't give the targets, you can't see your components. Targets are the ones which we can configure inside the meta.xml. So what is the use of meta.xml? Meta.xml can be used, and that is the place where we decide what and all places we can use our component. Okay, so I'm just giving hello world. I'm just selecting some tab style and clicking on next. Okay, then what and all profiles, I'm just leaving as it is, same profile permissions. So now the tab is ready. Let me try to access the tab. Okay. So when I click on the Hello World tab, all these tabs are the standard and custom tabs, right? Custom object tabs. Apart from that standard and custom object tabs, I wanted to create a tab with my own UI. Okay, in all these tabs, right? UI is not configured by you. It's all a Salesforce predefined fields and things we can add it, page layouts and all. But if I want my custom UI, then on click of the tab, this is how I need to go. See, now I can see the welcome. I just see the welcome message. But I should see a complete message, right? What is the HTML code I have? If I go to the hello world, HTML, and here it has the template and it here has the greetings. Okay, greetings is the one, but here I just given the greeting, guys. Okay, because I know the LWC very well, that's the reason I directly went to the JS and I just verified, did I give the same name or not? But how can you guys verify? So here you are expecting to display welcome to the Salesforce, but you have when you just accessed your tab, you saw only half of the message, right? So how can you know was there any error or not? The thing you need to do is you need to right click and then click on inspect. Okay, and you can go to the console and refresh the page. Okay, in case if it has any errors, guys, it will display the errors here. Right now you don't have any errors, but if it has any errors, it will display the here, and this is how you are going to debug, right, guys. So right now, it is not displaying any error here, but message is not coming it here. Then I just went to my component. I just saw, I can go to the HTML page. I just declared the greetings variable. Let me check what is the value stored in this greetings variable inside my JavaScript. So I just searching for it, not here. I can go to this file and clicking on Control F and then giving greetings. Then I can see I don't see any keyword of greetings. Then I can just simply change this to greetings, or else I have to change in my HTML file to refer greeting. Okay. Right now I just changed it to greetings and save this file, deploy the source to Arc. Okay. Now let me just refresh the one page. Now I got welcome to Salesforce. Okay. So this is how, this is a simple word I did, but here you can do your own customizations. Okay. Welcome to Salesforce. Our today's target is not own customizations. Our today's target is understanding about these three files. Okay. Now, when I am going to use the CSS file, so HTML is there, right? If I wanted to display this color, right now it is displaying the black color, right? I wanted to display it as a white color. Then that is the time, that is the CSS, right? Changing the colors and all is the styles. So if you wanted to do the things in a styling manner, that time I'll create a style class and I'll apply those style classes to these divs. Okay. For example, you have some text and you wanted to apply some styles. Okay. That is the case, CSS coming into the picture, guys. Whenever you have such kind of requirements, then you can simply create a file. Okay. A new file. And you can just simply name that file is also a component name .css. Okay. Inside the CSS file, you have to apply the color. Okay. So I wanted to apply a text color. I don't have text color. If I simply try to use the color, okay, there is a color is there and I can select, I want a text color of white, right? Okay. Okay. So this is how I can write my CSS, guys. Okay. I can name this is nothing but the color class. Okay. How many of you doesn't know about minimum basics of HTML or CSS, guys? Like you no need to know about the much basics, a small tags. Like, okay, if you want to display a text, we have to write inside the div. How many of you doesn't aware of that concept? Okay, so we have a class attribute. Okay, inside this class attribute, you can just simply give this CSS class name like color class. Okay, this is how we can apply the styles, guys. Okay, class is the one. Using this, we can apply CSS styles. Okay, now let me deploy this complete component. If I go ahead and refresh the page, I can see it is in white color. Okay. That is the use of CSS. Using the CSS, we can style the text. Okay. Right now, I have just given the color and you can give the font. Okay. Or you can give the font type, font size. All those things also you can give, like different stylings. And yeah, these are the 4 files. Okay. Basically, mainly we will use, these are the 4 files. So any questions, guys, on what is these files? First of all, what is HTML file? What is JavaScript file? When we use meta file and when we use CSS file. Okay. And what are the optional files? CSS is the optional file in your component. Okay. And we can create SVG files also, guys. SVG is nothing but whenever you wanted to store, okay, image URLs, that is the time we will use the SVG files. After this, optional files in bundle is hello world.csv and hello world.svg. CSV file we use for styling purpose. We use it for styling. And SVG files we use to store images. Okay. Whenever in your pages you have the images, if you want to store the images in your file, then that is the time you can use the SVG. But SVG and CSS both are the optional in the bundle. You can create the LWC component without those files also. Okay. SVG files also we will create in the same way. New file. Hello world.svg. Okay, in tomorrow's class, I'll show you guys, like if I have one image, how can I keep that image in my SVG file and how to access that in the HTML. Okay, SVG files generally we use at the time of displaying the images. Okay, we should not hard code the images inside the, you have to store images in somewhere, right? That is nothing but the SVG file. Okay, that we will see it in the tomorrow's class. Any questions on these 4 files? HTML, JS, meta, and CSS. No questions? That means not understanding anything, or you guys understand what is it? Guys, please speak out. This is development classes, okay? It will not be that much easy to understand, okay? But you have to speak out. Then only if I'm going too deep or if I wanted to change something, then I can get to know, okay?
Swarna, it is okay.
Okay, good. Thanks, Chandra.
Okay. Syntaxes we have to remember.
Correct. Syntaxes, like
That's it.
slowly, when you implement the multiple components, right, you will get to know. Okay. Right now, we just
Okay.
implemented the simple string, right? Today, we understand, okay, we have to write the div and inside the temp. template. So slowly we are increasing, practicing multiple components, right? You will understand that what is the use of that thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay,
these are the
sir.
two important URLs. Okay, one is the component library, which will gives you how to write syntax. Okay. And another one is the LWC recipe, guys. There you will find different examples. I'm just seeing. Okay, it seems I didn't paste it that thing. Let me paste that URL also. Okay, recipes.lwc. I just do this thing, right? Hello world. You can try with hello binding, guys. Okay. Anyway, tomorrow I'm going to explain about this, but you can try with. Here they are just displaying the word which is hard coded. Now the next thing is we will give the input what to display after hello. Okay. We will give the input, whatever the input which we are giving, that should display next to the hello. That is nothing but your second component. And a third component is a little bit more. Okay, we will give the inputs. Okay, and that will translate into the uppercase, even though you give into the lower case, and that will translate into the uppercase and display it here. If we have such kind of scenario, how to write a code. Okay. And the next thing is the, okay, leave about it. I'm going to eat your time. Okay, I'm just going to keep it here, guys. Like that, LWC recipes is the one which gives you different examples one by one. Initial example is just displaying the text, and the second example is displaying the text. Whatever the value you give, you are going to display. It's not the hard coding value inside the JavaScript also. It's the value you are giving, and that value is going to display to the users. Okay, like that, slowly we will get to know. Tomorrow I'm going to explain about the SVG files. Okay, please make sure that you will just create your first component and try to use it, guys. Okay, and practice it, guys. And I'm very sure without practice you will forget everything. Admin concepts are completely different, guys. Development concepts are, you will not get anything by simply listening. Okay, it will be zero. Admin concepts are something like that. If you listen, you will get at least 50% knowledge without practice also. But if you practice it, then you will get a clear, like loopholes also you will get to know if you practice it. But development concepts, if you simply listen, because I think you might have understanding this at the time of listening itself, we will not get complete things. Okay, there will be a lot of questions. If you practice it, you will get at least 50% of the knowledge. That is development, guys. Lot of practice required. We have to, everything we need to learn and remember. That learning and remember you will get when you practice it. You have to write it. Visual Studio Code setup, you have to set it up. If you know the steps, after a few days you will forget it. I'm sure. If you just remember the steps, you will forget it. But if you configure for 1 or 2 times, then easily you can do that thing. Okay. The same way, if you create multiple components, then you can easily remember that, okay, what are the different files which are present in the bundle. And damn sure, guys, all your interview questions will be on these sections only. Apart from these 12 sections, you will get hardly 2 or 3 questions out of it. But all of your basic questions for your 3 years experience, you will get from these sections only. That I can damn surely tell. Okay. So, but if you wanted to answer the questions confidently, you will do the practice. Okay, you need practice, guys. And I have seen people who do the practice. Okay, you will get lot of questions. That's fine, but please do the practice. Without practice, again you will face a lot of issues after you getting your projects, guys. And I'm sure after getting the projects, the same work you are going to do, but you will be in the blank face. If you don't practice it, as soon as you receive the project, they will ask you, configure Visual Studio Code. If you don't know now, then what you feel? That time nobody are going to explain you or nobody are going to assist you. They assume like, hey, you are the senior resource. You should know about this, right? So practice it. Then they will ask you create some LWC components. So I have seen people, guys, they listened very well in the classes. They got their interviews also by taking some help. They cleared their everything. Now they are struggling a lot to do work in the project, guys. Okay, because of less practice, we will be having a lot of issues. There might be some housewives. We will be having a lot of work out of this class. Okay, I can understand, but development classes, you will not get anything without practice. Okay, so adjust your timings, practice well. Okay, if you just simply listen the concepts, that will not at all help. Okay, without practicing development classes, listening, I mean, only listening the classes will not help anything. Okay, you have to practice it, and you will face a lot of errors, guys, at the time of practicing it. You will face, because we have to write some syntaxes, right? By mistake, we will write a lot of mistakes. Just now itself, I have written T small letter, right? The same way, we will end up with do a lot of mistakes because we have to write the code here. So that will come slowly. At least you will get to know, if you struck with somewhere, what all the things you need to refer and how to go, where to go. Everything will come as part of practice only. Okay, that's the reason I am not much insisting on the trial heads also, because inside the trial heads, what they are telling you is go to this, go to that. It's like spoon feeding they are doing. But for development, spoon feeding is not the mandatory thing. For the development, you need to understand single line. Even though we are writing the single line, that line you have to understand it, what is happening inside this line. If I write this line, what will happen? You should not simply copy paste the things. Okay. Again, I told you, you can go to the recipes folder and you can just see the things. Okay. So if you simply copy paste from here, it will work it out, guys. Your component will work it out, but that is not at all huge. Okay. Nobody is going to give you like rewards or awards once you complete the component. Okay, it's not matter of completing the component, it's matter of understanding the things. Okay, like, okay, hello greetings. Okay, for hello greetings, I have to give div here. Let's see if I give the p tag, what will happen. Okay, otherwise, okay, they have given div. Okay, div is the one, whenever we wanted to display some information, we have to write inside the div. Okay, like that, each and every line you are writing in the development, you need to understand it first. Don't simply copy paste it. Okay, here you will be seeing a lot of things, but don't simply copy paste it. Understand each and every line that you write. You should be in a position to explain. That is what we need to learn. Okay, that is how we need to learn. Okay, guys, thank you. Thank you so much. Lot of class and lot of lecture, but please practice, guys, because after you get the project, the same things you will see. Okay, but if you practice well, then it's not at all difficult to work, guys. Okay, if you just listen the classes, it won't help at all. When you get your projects, I can see some people, they were not able to write, they were not able to understand, like not able to set up the Visual Studio Code itself. Okay, in the initial days, yeah, well, they were set up, but when I completed the Visual Studio Code, the setup was done. Even they did the setup, but continuous practice makes man's perfect, right? The same way, it's not one time. daily you have to do practice one or other thing. You have to use the Visual Studio Code, one or other thing. Okay, you have to practice it, practice it, practice it. Daily classes, you have to practice it. Okay, then. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. I'll share this recording. Okay. Thank you. Except Manasa, can you all drop off? Yeah. Manasa,
చెప్పండి సార్.
నేను మీ నెంబర్కి కాల్ చేశానండి, బట్ స్విచ్ ఆఫ్ వచ్చింది.
ఓకే ఓకే, నేను ఆ నెంబర్ స్విచ్ ఆఫ్ లో ఉంది. నేను వేరే నెంబర్ నుంచి నేను కాల్ చేశాను కదా.
ఓకే, నాకు ఆ నెంబర్ కాల్ లిస్ట్ లో నెంబర్ చెప్తారా? 9398323668 అదేనా అండి?
అవునవును.
ఓకే, సేవ్ చేసుకుంటాను.
ఓకే సార్.
ఏదైనా ఓకే, నేను కాల్ చేస్తానండి ఆ నెంబర్కి.
సరే.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్స్ అండి. బాయ్.
బాయ్.
హలో.